Welcome to Report Crimes, the channel where we uncover the world's most shocking, mysterious, and unexplained criminal cases. Tonight's story is one that continues to disturb investigators and fascinate millions around the world. This is the case of Elisa Lam, a young woman who disappeared inside one of Los Angeles' darkest hotels, only to be found in the most chilling place imaginable. The year was 2013. Los Angeles, a city of dreams, sunshine, and fame, was also home to one of the most haunted buildings in America, the Cecil Hotel. For decades, this hotel had a terrifying reputation. Murders, suicides, overdoses, even serial killers like Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, once stayed here. Yet in January of that year, a 21-year-old college student named Elisa Lam from Vancouver, Canada, checked into this hotel, completely unaware of its dark history. Elisa was the daughter of immigrant parents from Hong Kong, a bright, curious student who loved literature, travel, and writing. She often shared her thoughts on a Tumblr blog called Nouvelle Nouveau, where she wrote about her struggles with mental health, her dreams, and her plans to explore the world. In early 2013, she decided to take a solo trip along the west coast of the United States, starting in San Diego and planning to head north after Los Angeles. Everything seemed fine, until she checked into the Cecil Hotel on January 26, 2013. Elisa stayed in a shared room on the hotel's 5th floor, but soon her roommates complained about her strange behavior, and she was moved to a private room. On January 31st, she was seen for the last time. She was supposed to check out that morning and travel to Santa Cruz, but she never showed up. Her parents, who spoke with her every single day, immediately knew something was wrong. They contacted the Los Angeles Police Department, and a missing person investigation began. The police searched every corner of the hotel, from the lobby to the basement, using police dogs, security footage, and interviews with guests. But there was no trace of Elisa. Days passed, then weeks. And the only clue came from a video that would soon go viral, a surveillance clip from the hotel elevator. In the video, Elisa appears to enter the elevator wearing a red hoodie and black shorts. She presses several buttons, but the elevator doesn't move. Then she starts behaving strangely, stepping in and out, hiding in the corner, waving her hands as if she's talking to someone unseen. Her movements are erratic. Her face shows confusion, maybe fear, and then, suddenly, she disappears from view. The elevator door remains open for an unusually long time before finally closing. That was the last time Elisa Lam was ever seen alive. 2 weeks later, on February 19, 2013, guests at the Cecil Hotel began complaining that the water from their taps tasted and smelled strange. The hotel staff went to check the rooftop water tanks, and inside one of those massive tanks, floating face up in the water, was the body of Elisa Lam. She was naked, her clothes floating beside her. There were no clear signs of trauma or assault. The rooftop was supposed to be locked. No one could explain how she got there, or why the alarm hadn't gone off. But the real mystery isn't just how Elisa Lam died. It's what happened before, inside that elevator. The elevator footage, strange, disturbing, and unexplained, would soon become one of the most viewed and analyzed videos in internet history. The video, released by the LAPD, is just over 2 minutes long. It shows Elisa entering the elevator wearing a red hoodie, black shorts, and sandals. She leans over, presses several buttons at once, as if she is unsure which floor to choose, and steps back. But the elevator door doesn't close. She waits, peeks outside, then jumps back in, hides against the wall, presses herself into the corner. Seconds later, she steps out again, moving her hands in a strange, almost fluid motion, as though she's talking to someone invisible. Some viewers believe she's playing a game. Others think she's terrified, maybe being followed. But no one else is seen in the video. The hallway outside the elevator appears empty. Within hours of its release, the video went viral. Millions watched. Millions speculated. Was she under the influence of drugs? Was she having a mental breakdown? Or was something or someone after her? Online detectives around the world tried to decode every frame. The elevator's strange delay in closing, the way her fingers moved, even her posture and clothing. Some believed the video was edited, that the hotel or police cut out a portion of it to hide something. Others pointed out that the timestamp on the footage skips, suggesting missing seconds. The autopsy results provided few answers. There were no signs of physical trauma, no evidence of assault, and toxicology tests found only small traces of her prescribed medication used for treating bipolar disorder, along with non-threatening amounts of over-the-counter drugs. The coroner ruled her death an accidental drowning, but that conclusion raised more questions than it answered. Over the years, several theories have emerged, some logical, some chilling. Let's explore the most discussed ones. First, the mental health crisis theory. Elisa was known to have bipolar disorder and depression, conditions she often wrote about online with honesty and vulnerability. Some believe she stopped taking her medication properly during her trip, which could have caused hallucinations, confusion, or paranoia. In this theory, the elevator footage shows her experiencing a psychotic episode, interacting with things that were not really there. Disoriented, she may have wandered to the rooftop through a fire escape or an unlocked door. Once there, she might have climbed into the water tank, perhaps seeking to hide or cool down, but was unable to get back out. It's a tragic but plausible explanation. Yet others argue it doesn't fully explain how she reached the tank, or why the alarm system never went off. Next, the foul play theory. Another group of investigators and online theorists believe Elisa didn't die alone. Some point to the odd behavior in the elevator, saying she was hiding from someone. They believe the hotel's dark history and unsafe environment may have played a role. The Cecil was known for attracting dangerous guests, drug users, violent offenders, even serial killers. What if someone followed her upstairs? What if she was chased and her death was covered up? Supporters of this theory note that her phone was never found and her clothes were in the water tank beside her, suggesting possible foul play. But again, there was no clear evidence, no fingerprints, no signs of forced entry. And finally, the supernatural theory. Of course, with a hotel as notorious as the Cecil, the supernatural theories came quickly. Some claimed Elisa was possessed by the Hotel Excess dark past, haunted by the spirits of victims who once lived and died there. Others linked her behavior to an old urban legend from Asia known as the elevator game, a supposed ritual to enter another dimension by pressing elevator buttons in a specific sequence. In the video, Elisa presses multiple buttons similar to that sequence. Is it coincidence or something more? While this theory is impossible to prove, it added a disturbing ghostly layer to an already eerie story. The Cecil Hotel itself became a character in this story. Built in 1927, it was once meant to be a luxurious destination for travelers. But over time, its location in the heart of LA's Skid Row, an area filled with poverty and crime, transformed it into something else entirely. Over the decades, dozens of people died there, through suicide, overdose, or murder. It housed infamous serial killers like Jack Unterweger and Richard Ramirez. Locals called it the Hotel of Death. Elisa Lam's case simply became the most recent and perhaps the most famous chapter in its cursed history. Online, thousands of amateur detectives tried to solve the case themselves. Reddit threads analyzed the elevator video frame by frame. Some people even visited the hotel to recreate her movements. Others accused random individuals, like a death metal musician named Morbid, who had once stayed at the Cecil, of being involved, despite having no connection at all. His life was ruined by false accusations. The case had evolved from tragedy into viral chaos, and through it all, the truth remained out of reach. Eventually, after months of speculation, the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office ruled Elisa Lam's death an accidental drowning. They stated that her bipolar disorder likely played a significant role. The case was officially closed, but many, including her family and millions of viewers online, were not convinced. How did she get onto the locked rooftop? How did she climb the tank without leaving any marks? And why did the elevator behave so strangely that night? Elisa Lam's story became a mirror of the internet age, a mix of tragedy, mystery, and obsession. She was a real person, intelligent, hopeful, struggling with her own mind, but the world turned her into a ghost story. The Cecil Hotel has since been renamed and rebranded, yet the questions remain, echoing through the walls of that building and through every person who's ever watched that elevator video. Maybe Elisa Lam's death was a tragic accident, or maybe something far darker happened within those walls. We may never truly know, but one thing is certain. Her story continues to remind us of how fragile the line is between reality and the unknown. Thank you for watching Report Crimes. If you found this story as haunting as we did, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we uncover another case that challenges what we think we know about truth, fear, and the human mind.